Susan Bearden, Erica Wilson, John Hoyt. They're all top professional models represented by the prestigious Ford Modeling Agency. They're also members of a cult called Eternal Values.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Frederick von Mierers.
Frederick is the self-anointed guru of Eternal Values. He says he and his followers are from the star Arcturus.
And I did come from Arcturus. I entered into this physical body on January 23rd, 1978 at 7 o'clock.
In 1988, Frederick appeared on this talk show to warn the world of the coming apocalypse.
Starting in May of next year, the terrible earthquakes, the storms that will beset humanity, the financial disasters, we must warn you. We're here to warn you of these things. We are sincere.
On the surface, his followers appeared to be among the best and the brightest.
We are very disciplined. All the people here went to Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, graduated with honors.
But their parents soon began to notice problems.
Catherine went in right after graduation from Princeton, and I really never saw her, with one robotic exception. I never saw her after graduation in '85.
What do you mean by robotic?
There was no Catherine available. Catherine wasn't home. It was like you knocked and somebody opened some kind of louvers and you looked in and there was just a hollow, a metallic, not a shadow, a metallic hollow. And my sister said something about the heart. What was missing was the heart.
Carolyn Edelman had 2 daughters, and she says she lost them both to Eternal Values.
He takes the people out of their family situation. He takes them out of their normal friendships. He takes them away from their hobbies, their passions, their creativity. And all that's left is a shell that will do whatever Frederick von Mierers once done.
It was a sham. It was just a great big phony sham.
I really feel he raped them of their soul and their minds.
Bob and Terry Hoyt brought up their 6 children in Berwyn, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Their son, John, is a Princeton graduate and a professional model. They say they've lost him to Frederick von Mierers, perhaps for good. But what hurts them just as much is how John is being used.
John, with his charisma, was able to go out and seek out the women and get them interested in this spiritual, in quotes, organization and bring them back to Frederick.
Jackie Adams was one of those women recruited by John. She's another top Ford fashion model. She's been featured in the most glamorous magazines. When she met Frederick von Mierers, she liked what she heard.
They're talking about love. They're talking about helping one another. This is like the perfect world. You know, and they were so sincere when they were talking. And I was completely taken in.
Jackie Adams was convinced to move into this building. It's on the east side of New York City. It's about 5 blocks away from the Ford Model Agency. It's where Frederick von Mierers and his inner circle lived, where he was the master and they were the slaves.
All I know is what he was doing was wrong. It was morally wrong. It was criminally wrong in my view.
What was he doing that was morally wrong?
I've heard it described, and I shudder to think about what these men and women are going to deal with for the rest of their lives. You know, I mean, with their husbands and their wives, hopefully, that they'll have later, but how do you look at something so normal after someone has twisted it so horribly?
Marie Brenner is the special correspondent for Vanity Fair magazine that first broke the story on Eternal Values. According to her article, Frederick von Mierers and some of his followers engaged in bizarre sexual activities. How could he convince his followers to do something like that?
I don't know. Absolutely extraordinary. And when you consider that these young people, many of whom had gone to the finest schools, had come from incredibly good families, they were not the dummies that were in Jonestown.
Carol Giambalvo is one of the leaders of the Cult Awareness Network, an organization that helps ex-cult members.
You can really gain control of a person's sexuality. You've gained control of the most intimate part of themselves. Both that and the feeling of a relationship with God are the 2 most intimate aspects of a person. And if you can control that, then you've really got control of them.
Jackie says she escaped the group sex by marrying one of the cult leaders, but she didn't escape the fear of AIDS.
I ended up being involved with a man who had had homosexual relationships, who had never told me about them. I had no idea of the risk I was taking. He didn't even think about the risk that he had been taking. I mean, right there, we're talking about a possible death sentence that I'm not even prepared for.
To support his cult, to pay the rent in New York City, to buy property like this lakeside retreat in North Carolina, Frederick von Mierers sold what he said were precious stones.
Frederick was in the middle of a multi-million-dollar gem ring. He probably sold, we estimated, $2 million worth of stones. And his way of doing it was to tell the people in his cult that their lives were going to be essentially useless, that they would not survive the millennium unless they wore his healing gems.
How much did this all cost you?
The whole kit and caboodle, everything all the money that Frederick got from me, about $100,000 in cash.
Jackie Adams finally escaped the clutches of Frederick von Mierers about 2 years ago. Then she went to her bosses at the Ford Modeling Agency and tried to warn them.
I had a long meeting with Jerry Ford and Joe Hunter, told them about it, told them who was involved and how, and everyone wanted to walk away from it. It was too embarrassing.
Nobody came to me and said, hey, 4 of your models belong to this outfit.
But a taped conversation between Jerry Ford and Jackie Adams proves otherwise.
There is Hoyt Richards, there's Erica Wilson, and Susan Beard and myself all involved. They're all Ford models. That's why I wanted to tell you guys about this.
But nothing was ever done, and now the members of Eternal Values have another problem to worry about.
Mr. von Mierers did have AIDS and died as a result of AIDS.
These kids could all contract AIDS, and then there would be no more.
My biggest fear right now is that my girls would have AIDS because they lived in a situation where a man who had AIDS dominated their lives.
Even though Frederick's dead, there's always going to be another man who's going to think, or man or person that's going to think of another scam to take advantage of innocent, gullible, hopeful, believing people.
If someone you know seems to be falling into a cult, you can get help by calling the Cult Awareness Network.